Growing up, I didn't know what dopamine actually is, but when I got into self improvement, that's when things became really nasty. If you see me, I'm black. I live in Nigeria, and this kind of cultures, like the black culture, the brown culture, they scold their child, they shout at him. I didn't realize how traumatized I was until when I got into self improvement. So I'm gonna give you a story of, call it the story of the ball. There was one of my mom's friend who was living in my house back in 2010, I think 2010, 2011, 2012, forgotten the dates. She lived for a while in the house. Basically, like there was this fruit salad we would put in the bowl and they would give me to bring it to her. I would put the fruit salad on top of a plate and I'll bring it to her. And I was intimidated when I was young because she can shout at me like that. And then I was intimidated. I was going slowly, anxiously bringing it to her step by step. The moment I reached her, she looked up at me. She just got up and to collect the fruit salad. I just threw it into her face. I was intimidated and I ran away. Not that I was afraid of her, it's just that she shook me that day. This is my looks minor, but there's and like these things happen so many times. There was, in fact, my dad. That's the problem for my dad, because some of the times when, for example, they give me a bowl or maybe a glass to drink, I get intimidated easily, and when I throw the bowl or the cup or the whatever, there's a glass, when it shatters, I just get an unbelievably amount of criticism or like shouting like what, and then I'm afraid and I run away. So many things like this, and I grew up like this with fear and everything. I didn't realize how it would affect me until later in life. It's a funny experiment called still face experiment. I think the professor was called Dr. Edward Tronic, for example. He got he wanted to test. He got a mother or a caregiver and also an infant. They'll be smiling at the infant, he'll be smiling and everything, laughing, joke. And then the caregiver was instructed to turn her face into still. And when she was laughing, she just, and then they noticed that the child, and instantly started showing signs of negative emotions like anxiety. And he experimented with so many children, and he discovered that, he discovered that a child, when he's given what's it called, a neutral emotion, it affects the child. Just imagine not smiling at a child is bad for the child. Not smiling. Imagine growing up, fear, criticism, shouting, scolding, getting traumatized as a child. No wonder we have so many symptoms of unusual behavior these days. Most of these things comes from trauma. You might be traumatized when you were a child and you didn't even notice that. You see so many things, so many children like not taking care of themselves. Some children doing some unusual behaviors, all because of childhood trauma. Normally, I make contents for young, ambitious Muslim men, but this message is not just for them. It's for almost everyone. It's for especially women, because some of this, like I mentioned, in this culture, like some of them just shout at someone, like just bring the tension they have on that child. Child that can grow up like this. Traumas leave a mark on the person, and you grow up like this. Some of you see as they, sometimes you see, like for example, a child in a community, everyone is upset with their child, and he grew up like this. You might imagine like there's a community, for example, where a young man, about 17, 16, 18 years of age, you see him like stealing, robbing, all these things. Why is that? Because he didn't have enough child upbringing. In fact, I had somewhere, I think it's this book, How to Influence and Influence People. It mentions that they ask like people in jail, basically, I do you think you're a bad person? They asked them like they wanted to understand why that happened, why they quickly triggered a bullet and killed someone like this. And what they noticed was that most of them are having some form of negative emotion that they were not able to heal, which is a trauma. They were not able to process an emotion when they were young, maybe. That's when they grew up like this, and they would easily shoot a person in the gun. Just to, and I also observed so many things, like my friend, especially there's one friend of mine who always complains to me about maybe like the girl is not responding, all just complaining so many things. And what I realized was that he had a chaotic childhood. He was just criticized. He was put it to fault almost every day, and all these things. I realized that okay, this is a problem. Most people worry about AI or maybe population decline. This is a big problem. This is a bigger problem to solve. We need to spread awareness. I'm telling you, please do not scold the child. The Prophet ﷺ, a Muslim, the Prophet ﷺ never ever in his life scold a child. In fact, there was one person that grew up in his house, Anas ibn Malik. He said that the Prophet ﷺ, he served the Prophet ﷺ for over 13 years. You can imagine 13 years and never once did the Prophet ﷺ ever scolded him. Why is a child is precious, and you will probably be traumatized with this like this, things like this. So find a way to heal this kind of trauma. And when I grew up, that's when, in fact, even now, even till this day, when you give me a bowl that resembles a bowl, for example, you give me a glass and a cup, you will see me, I'll instantly enter into fight or flight. You see me like sometimes I'll even be sweaty because of these things. You have to learn what's called trauma healing. Sit down, think about the emotion. So it can be painful. It's not like physically painful, but it will remind you of all the previous things that happened in the past. So sit down, sit with this emotion, try to process this emotion. Because even if you don't feel this emotion, it is there. You have to sit down and process these emotions. Some people are having PTSD, some people are having complex PTSD. Sit down, turn off all the food. Do not even meditate, do not even do anything, just sit still. And you can look at the wall. For about a few minutes, you will start to realize that your brain is bringing all these previous thoughts to you. Sit down and process these emotions. And I will even do this thing with you because of this. I told you there are so many trauma like these things that happen to me. So I'll sit down and try to visualize these things, try to remember the thing as clearly as possible, try to process the emotion. Please do not ever scold a young child, even if they do things that are annoying. It's not their fault. They are little babies, little children. They don't know what's right and what's wrong. Even if they know what's right and what's wrong, do not scold them. To have a mark on them. Imagine if you scold a child once, and for example, that child became an armed robber. Really think about these things. And if you reach this far with the video, I would really want to reach out to you and appreciate you. You've done what most people are able to do. How long is this video? People cannot sit down to watch a few minutes video. You watch till the end. And I'm really happy about that. And I also have a goal of reaching 10,000 subscribers this year. And you can help with that by clicking the subscribe button. And other than that, I would like to end with the humble quote. Too much attention makes a donkey think he's a lion. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.